Starting with a look at today's top headlines, President Trump is warning against a rush to judgment against Saudi Arabia for the disappearance of U.S. resident and Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. The president says Saudi Arabia's king and crown prince both deny any knowledge of what happened to Khashoggi. CBS News has learned the Saudis are preparing a plan where they say Khashoggi was killed during a botched interrogation at their consulate in Turkey. Recreational marijuana sales have begun in Canada, where people can now legally buy up to 30 grams. In addition, anyone convicted in Canada of having up to 30 grams of marijuana will be pardoned. Canada is the second country to legalize recreational marijuana. Uruguay was the first. In Texas, the governor has declared a state of disaster after floods ravaged 18 counties. CBS's Laura Podesta shows us images of the widespread damage that's killed at least one person.
Historic. That's what officials are calling flood levels in central Texas. The Llano River in Junction has swollen above 30 feet, causing road closures and evacuations. Officials shut down this bridge over the Colorado River after one person died, leaving residents in Llano County in shock.
I've never seen this high. 96 and 97 were both pretty good flood, but I believe this is a lot more.
Farther east, near Austin, a school bus driver was arrested after he drove around a barricade and over a low water crossing. A 12-year-old student on board needed to be rescued from swift waters. 4 floodgates are trying to relieve pressure by pushing water out of Lake Travis and into Lake Austin. Crowds flock to see the sheer power of the operation.
It's a pretty big deal. I mean, it's interesting to watch. It's a neat system that we have set up to keep this, the Central Texas, Austin from flooding, and it's also very powerful and amazing to watch.
The rain is also causing issues in other parts of Texas. The Fort Worth Fire Department says it responded to more than 80 traffic accidents yesterday because of the weather conditions. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Forecasters are concerned the Llano River could actually have a secondary rise at some point today. Continuing our coverage, Billings police have released an image of a pickup truck that might be tied to the disappearance of Billings woman Laura Johnson. Police say this particular truck is of interest in Johnson's disappearance. The truck is a 2012 white Chevrolet Silverado crew cab pickup. Investigators have already identified the vehicle and are just looking for where it may have been on those dates. Johnson has been missing since September 13th. Her family tells Q2 News they haven't seen or heard from her in weeks. Anyone with information regarding Johnson is asked to contact Billings Police. In court news, the Miles City School District has filed a lawsuit of its own against the school's longtime athletic trainer, James Jensen, saying his decades of sexual abuse harmed the district. The school district is already named in a civil suit in which it's accused of knowing about the alleged abuse but failed to take action. That lawsuit, filed earlier this month, cites 19 anonymous male victims who claim they were abused while they were students at the school as far back as 1970. Attorneys believe there could be hundreds of other victims. The lawsuit alleges Jensen used his position of trust to sexually abuse male students. The suit claims the abuse happened both on school grounds and at Jensen's home. Jensen was removed from his position at the school in 1998 and recently reached out to his victims on Facebook to apologize. He has not been criminally charged. The district's lawsuit alleges Jensen intentionally and fraudulently misled the school district in violation of his duty. It claims Jensen intentionally made false representations regarding parent complaints with the intent that the school district would rely on those statements. The complaint also says the district had no knowledge of Jensen's true activities. 6 months into a new concentrated effort to combat violent crime in Yellowstone County, Project Safe Neighborhoods is delivering some promising results. Federal, state, and local law enforcement have made more than 100 arrests in Yellowstone County alone, confiscated 52 firearms, and seized 160 pounds of meth with a street value of over $7 million. That's the word from Montana's U.S. Attorney Kurt Alme on Tuesday. Since this effort began in April, crime crimes such as murders, aggravated assaults, and robberies are down 1% below the average of the past 2 years. Before the project started in the first quarter of 2018, violent crimes had been up 29% over the past 2 years. They say it's meth that's driving much of the violent crime here and across the rest of the state.
And the unanimous conclusion is that the primary cause is meth. And it's not only dealer-on-dealer violence, it's not only armed robberies of casinos and convenience stores to get money to purchase meth, but also there's a certain number of meth users who become violent.
Law enforcement officials say meth is being brought to Montana from Mexico. While progress is being shown in the fight against it, they say there is still a lot to be done.
Commit armed robbery, you push meth, or you commit a firearms offense, you will be pursued, you will be arrested, and you will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
Another goal of Project Safe Neighborhoods is to develop a substance abuse and treatment strategy. The problem is still a very big one, but law enforcement thinks this effort is making a difference. In Butte, Montana Tech's fall semester enrollment is down nearly 100 students compared to last semester. MTM's John Amy tells us why officials at Tech fear the downward trend may continue.
Montana Tech's enrollment continues to decline, and that has academic officials here at this Butte University concerned.
Well, anytime you lose enrollment, you need to consider the financial impacts and those kind of things go along with it.
The university's official enrollment for the fall is 2,583 students, which is down about 95 students from last fall. Academic leaders here at the university say there are a number of factors for the downward spiral in enrollment. One reason for the downturn in enrollment is the lack of people seeking majors in petroleum engineering.
It has steadily been declining since the 4 or 5 years ago when the price of oil was over $100 a barrel. It dropped to somewhere in the mid-20s. So we've seen a consistent decline in petroleum engineering.
Another major factor that's affecting all universities in Montana is the lack of high school graduates in the state.
Data has shown that the graduation rates in high school in Montana is going to continue to decline until about 2023. So in order to grow our enrollment, we're going to have to recruit more out-of-state students.
On a positive note, the university has seen a growth in freshman enrollment. In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
Montana Tech officials say they've been working on a major marketing campaign to better promote the positives about the Butte school. Montana State University, on the other hand, has set an enrollment record this fall at 16,902 students. This is the most students the university has ever had in its 125 years. It also set a retention rate record, and its 4 to 6 year graduation rate has gone up as well.
We credit most of our success to our faculty and staff. I mean, they're out there working every single day to make sure students are finding the help that they need, they're finding the classes that they need, and they're provided with as much opportunity and access to higher education as possible.
Going now on the campaign trail, the latest campaign fundraising numbers are in for Montana's top 2 races. In the U.S. House race, Democrat Kathleen Williams has nearly pulled even in fundraising with Republican incumbent Greg Gianforte. But Montana's U.S. Senate race, incumbent John Tester and Republican challenger Matt Rosendale is still by far the most expensive in the state. Tester reported this week that his campaign raised $3.8 million in the past 3 months, pushing his fundraising total to more than $18 million. Rosendale raised nearly $2 million in the past quarter, but is still far behind Tester with about $4 million total for the race. Outside groups also have spent more than $20 million on this race, with an edge in that spending for Rosendale. In the U.S. House race, Williams raised just over $2 million during the past 3 months, compared to about $1.1 million for Gianforte. Her fundraising total is just under $3 million, while Gianforte's is just over $3 million. Staying on the topic of money, a waitress at a bar south of Busby got a generous tip, and it only got better when she used it to buy a Montana Lottery scratch-off ticket. Leah Huntsalong turned her $50 tip into a $70,000 win. She was working at the Kirby Saloon when a patron tipped her, and she decided to buy a scratch ticket. She put the ticket away and scratched it at the end of her shift, hoping to win a couple $100. But instead, it was a $70,000 winner. She said her family is still planning on how to use the money and calls it a blessing. Turning now to health news, government health officials are updating the number of cases of patients left weakened or paralyzed by a rare illness. They're now investigating more than 120 possible cases of AFM. CBS's Tom Hansen has more.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is reporting 127 patients are under investigation for acute flaccid myelitis, or AFM. 62 cases of the rare but serious condition have now been confirmed in 22 states.
This is truly a mystery disease. We actually don't know what's causing this increase in cases. For some of the previous cases, we've identified one pathogen or another, but we have no unifying diagnosis.
AFM affects the nervous system, specifically part of the spinal cord, and can in some cases be caused by a virus. Muscles and reflexes are weakened and some patients are left paralyzed. Cases have been reported recently in Minnesota and Illinois. More than 90% of cases are in children 18 years old and younger.
We first detected an increase in AFM in 2014 and then in 2016. So far in 2018, we're seeing a similar increase.
In 2014, 120 cases of AFM were confirmed. In 2016, there were 149 cases. Experts say while it's rare, parents should seek care right away if their child has sudden onset of muscle weakness in the arms or legs. Tom Hansen, CBS News, New York.
The CDC did not release the list of states reporting confirmed cases, but a report by CNN states a possible case has been reported in Montana, with no cases reported in Wyoming. The average age of those affected by AFM this year is 4 years old.